There comes a moment in life when you feel stuck. Maybe you've outgrown your current situation. Maybe a path you once followed no longer inspires you. Or maybe you've built an identity around something that no longer serves you. In that moment, you have two choices. You can stay where you are, or you can evolve into something greater. Reinvention isn't about abandoning who you are. It's about expanding into who you were always meant to be. It's about recognizing that your past does not define your future and that transformation is always possible. Some people fear change, believing it signals failure. But the real failure is staying the same when you know you were meant for more. Reinvention is a natural part of life. Look at the seasons. Nothing stays the same. Trees let go of their leaves in the fall, not because they failed, but because shedding the old makes way for the new. And the same applies to you. Growth requires change, and sometimes that means letting go of an outdated version of yourself so that something greater can take its place. Throughout history, civilizations have adapted, rebuilt, and reinvented themselves. Those who resisted change faded into the past, while those who embraced reinvention thrived. The same principle applies on a personal level. Those willing to evolve will always find new doors opening before them. So why do so many people hesitate to reinvent themselves? Because it's uncomfortable. Change is uncertain. It requires stepping into the unknown. But ask yourself, what's more terrifying? Taking a risk to grow, or looking back years from now and realizing you let fear keep you from becoming your best self? Many people tell themselves they're too old, too far behind, or it's too late. These are just excuses disguised as logic. Reinvention doesn't have an expiration date. It's not reserved for the young or those who have it all figured out. It's for anyone who's willing to start. Reinvention isn't about making one dramatic shift overnight. It's about making intentional choices that lead to transformation. Here's how to begin. First, embrace discomfort. Growth never happens inside the comfort zone, so reinvention is meant to challenge you. If it feels uncomfortable, that's the sign that you're on the right path. Second, let go of the old identity. Sometimes we cling to roles, relationships, or habits that no longer serve us. You are not your job. You are not your past mistakes. You are not the person you were yesterday. The moment you release the outdated version of yourself, you create space for something new to emerge. Third, take small, consistent steps. Reinvention doesn't happen in a single leap. It happens in the daily choices you make. Read a book. Learn a new skill, change a habit, shift your environment. Small actions repeated over time create massive transformation. Fourth is surround yourself with growth-minded people. The people around you influence your mindset. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to become better, not those who keep you tied to who you used to be. And number 5 is believe in the future you haven't met yet. The most important part of reinvention is belief. It's a belief that your best days are ahead of you, not behind you. You may not know exactly what's coming, but trust that you are capable of stepping into something greater. Every choice you make today is shaping the future version of you. You are never stuck. People stay stuck not because they can't change, but because they believe they can't. But you are not rooted in one place. You are not bound by your past. You can grow, you can evolve, you can reinvent yourself. If you feel like you've reached a dead end, maybe it's not the end at all. Maybe it's the beginning of a new version of you. How often have you told yourself, one day I'll get around to it? One day I'll take that leap. One day I'll chase my dream. One day I'll start living the life I know I'm capable of. One day is easy, isn't it? It feels safe. It whispers promises of future greatness while keeping you exactly where you are. But here's the thing, one day never comes. It's always out there, somewhere in the distance. And every time you push your goals to one day, you're pushing your potential further out of reach. But there's another option. Today can be day one. Day one isn't glamorous. It's not about massive achievements or instant results. It's about stepping forward. However uncertain or unprepared you feel, it's about beginning, even when you're scared or unsure. Take a moment to think about some of the most successful people in any field, like athletes, entrepreneurs, or artists. They didn't get there by waiting for the perfect time. They got there by deciding that day one mattered more than waiting for the right circumstances. They started training, writing, building, creating, long before they were ready. What about you? Maybe there's something you've been postponing, a business idea you've been sitting on, a fitness goal that feels too big, a life change that you're afraid to make. It's easy to convince yourself that you'll start when things settle down or when you're ready. But let me tell you something, there will never be a perfect time. The only perfect time is the moment you decide to begin. Day one doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require clarity or confidence. It only requires a decision to move, however small the step may seem. Think of this. Every incredible journey starts with a single step. The first step may feel awkward, uncertain, or even frustrating. But that step is where momentum begins. It's where you prove to yourself that you're capable. Here's the hard truth, is that waiting for one day is like running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. On the other hand, day one is a path forward. It's progress. And progress, no matter how slow, is always better than standing still. Don't wait for the stars to align. Don't wait for the fear to disappear or the conditions to feel just right. The fear won't go away, and the conditions will never be perfect. You have to move forward despite the fear and despite the imperfection. So what will it be? Will today be another one day? Or will it be day one? You don't need all the answers, and you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Life rewards action, not plans, not intentions, but action. Every dream, every goal, every great achievement begins with someone who made the bold decision to stop waiting and start doing. One day or day one, choice is yours. Imagine a tiny drop of water hitting a rock. One drop alone does nothing. But drop after drop, day after day, the seemingly unmovable rock starts to wear down. That's the power of consistency. It's not about one massive effort. It's about showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. See, we live in a world that celebrates big wins and overnight successes. But here's the truth no one likes to talk about. Behind every overnight success are years of consistent, quiet effort. There's a grind, a routine, a series of small steps that lead to big leaps. The secret sauce to success? Well, it's not talent, luck, or even timing. It's consistency. Momentum doesn't appear out of thin air. It's built through repetition, through habit, through showing up when no one is watching. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you're adding fuel to your momentum. You're laying one brick in the foundation of the life you want to create. Too often we underestimate the small things. We think, One skipped workout won't hurt. Or I'll start working on my dream tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week into next month, and before you know it, you're stuck in the same place, wondering, why hasn't life changed? Truth is, life changes when you do. Consistency doesn't require perfection, it requires persistence. It's okay to slip up, to miss a day, to make a mistake. What matters is getting back on track. Momentum is forgiving, but it demands one thing: commitment. Consistency compounds. Every rep at the gym strengthens your body. Every page you read sharpens your mind. Every hour you invest in your craft pushes you closer to mastery. These efforts may seem small in the moment, but they add up over time. Think of a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's tiny. It takes effort to get it moving, but as it rolls, it picks up speed, growing larger and faster with every turn. That's how momentum works. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to keep going. And suddenly, you are unstoppable. Let's be real, consistency isn't glamorous. It's not always exciting or fun. There will be days when you don't want to do it, when the bed feels warmer than the gym, when Netflix seems more tempting than working on your goals. And that's where most people stop. They let comfort win. But comfort is the enemy of progress. Growth lies in discomfort. And those moments when you push through resistance and do the hard things anyways, that's where growth is. Here's the beautiful thing about consistency. It puts the power back in your hands. You don't have to rely on momentum, luck, or external circumstances. You just have to decide every single day to take one small step forward. Picture the life you want to create. Maybe it's a successful career, a healthier body, or a more peaceful mind. Whatever it is, the blueprint is in your hands. You don't need to make giant leaps. You just need to keep laying the bricks, one action at a time. The question is, can you commit? Can you embrace the grind, the routine, the unglamorous work that no one else sees? Because that's where greatness is built, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Right now, take a hard look at your life. Where have you been inconsistent? What dreams have you been putting off because you're waiting for the right time or the perfect plan? The right time is now. The perfect plan is to start where you are with what you have. Commit to consistency, not for a week, not for a month, but for a life. Because if you show up every day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, success becomes inevitable. You'll wake up one day and realize the life you've built is everything you dreamed of. So let's work together. Let's build momentum. Let's prove day by day that consistency is the most powerful force in the world. Your future self is counting on you. Discipline is the backbone of every success story. Whether you want to build a business, get in shape, or develop better habits, discipline is what will get you there. Motivation will spark the fire, but discipline is what keeps it burning when things get tough. And it will get tough. So let's break down how to develop discipline, because it's not something you're born with. It's a skill you can build. And once you have it, it becomes a superpower. Number 1, start small, win big. Discipline isn't about doing big things right from the start. It's about mastering small habits consistently. If you want to build discipline, begin with something simple, like wake up 10 minutes earlier. Exercise for 5 minutes a day. Commit to one task that improves your life, like reading a few pages of a book or making your bed. Each small win builds momentum. And with momentum, you develop trust in yourself. Trust that you can commit to something and see it through. Number 2, know your why or have a purpose. Discipline is easier when you have a strong reason behind it. Why are you working on this goal? If your why is strong enough, you'll push through the hard moments. Are you working out to feel healthier or more confident? Are you building a new habit to create more financial freedom for your family? Write your purpose down and revisit it daily. Discipline without purpose becomes drudgery, but discipline with purpose becomes power. Number 3, eliminate temptations and distractions. Let's be real, self-discipline isn't just about willpower. It's about setting yourself up for success. You don't need to fight every temptation if you can avoid it. Trying to eat healthier? Don't keep junk food in the house. Working on a project? Turn off your notifications and block social media for a while. Discipline becomes easier when the environment supports your goals. Number 4, and you may have heard this before, but get comfortable being uncomfortable. Discipline means doing things you don't want to do in the moment. But the more you practice discipline, the more comfortable you become with discomfort. You start realizing that temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for long-term rewards. When you push through resistance, you build resilience. And resilience is what separates those who try from those who succeed. Number 5, use routines and systems, not just willpower. Willpower is like a battery. It drains throughout the day. That's why even the most disciplined people rely on routines and systems instead of pure willpower. Create a morning routine that sets the tone for your day. Schedule your priorities so you don't leave them to chance. Build habits that automate good decisions so you don't have to think about them every time. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself all the time. It's about creating a system where the right actions become automatic. Number 6, forgive yourself and keep moving. Listen, you're going to slip up. Everyone does. But discipline isn't about never failing. It's about getting back on track as quickly as possible. When you miss a workout, oversleep, or procrastinate on your goals, don't waste time beating yourself up. Forgive yourself, learn from it, and move on. What matters most is consistency over time. Discipline is built in the long run, not in a single perfect day. Number 7, celebrate the wins, big and small. When you stick to your commitments, acknowledge it. Discipline doesn't mean grinding nonstop without joy. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, that's a victory worth celebrating. Take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. Even the small steps matter because they are building the person you are becoming. And final thought here, discipline is freedom. It might sound backwards, but discipline is what gives you freedom. The more disciplined you become, the more control you have over your life. You'll no longer be a slave to bad habits, distractions, or fleeting emotions. You'll become the kind of person who does what needs to be done no matter how you feel. So start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Make one small decision that aligns with your goals and stick to it. Then do it again and again. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize that discipline has become your way of life. And that, my friends, is the secret to success. Change is funny, isn't it? I mean, it's always happening around us, whether we like it or not. The seasons shift from summer's warmth to winter's chill. We see it in our careers, our relationships, or even in the world itself. Change is everywhere. And yet, despite how normal it is, many of us fear it. We cling to the familiar, to what we know because it feels safe. But the truth is, change isn't just inevitable, it's necessary. If we learn to embrace it We don't just survive it, we thrive. Everything in life changes. Nature doesn't stay stagnant. There's a constant cycle of growth, death, and then rebirth. The trees shed their leaves only to bloom again in the spring. The ocean ebbs and flows with the tides. It's a natural part of life. And just like nature, we're meant to evolve, to adapt, and to grow. But so often we resist. Why? Because change is uncomfortable. It forces us to step outside of our comfort zones and to face the unknown. It challenges us to let go of what we've always known in order to become something greater. And that, for many, can be scary. But without change, there's no growth. If we never allow ourselves to step into the discomfort, we'll stay stuck. And staying stuck might feel safe for a while, but over time, we end up falling behind. We miss out on opportunities, on possibilities, on the chance to become more than what we are right now. While the rest of the world moves forward, we're left behind. Think about the times in your life when you faced change. Maybe it was an external change, like a new job, or moving to a new place, or the end of a relationship. Or maybe it was an internal shift, deciding to break an old habit, start a new one, or change your mindset. At first, it probably felt difficult, maybe even overwhelming. But after a while, once you got through the initial discomfort, didn't you come out stronger? Didn't you find yourself better equipped to handle whatever life threw your way? Change is like that. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. And the best part, when you learn to embrace change, not just react to it, but you take control of your life. You stop waiting for your life to happen to you, and you start making conscious choices about who you want to become. Yes, change will happen whether we want it or not. But when we take ownership of that change, when we decide to grow with it, to use it as a tool for transformation, something amazing happens. We don't just keep up with life, we get ahead of it. We become the architects of our own futures, shaping our lives into something greater than we've ever imagined. So don't fear change. Don't shy away from the discomfort it brings. Instead, lean into it, embrace it. Know that every shift, every challenge, every unknown is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to become more. Change is constant, it's inevitable, but it's also a gift. And when you stop fearing it and start embracing it, that's when you truly unlock your potential. Life is changing all around you. The question is, will you change with it? There's something really powerful about having a vision. I'm not talking about daydreams or wishful thinking. I'm talking about a real, clear vision for the life you want to live. It's the kind of vision that gets you out of bed in the morning, the kind that pushes you to work harder, and the one that keeps you going when things get tough. Without a vision, you're just wandering. You're moving through life, but you're not really moving forward. A vision gives you direction. It gives you purpose. It lets you know where you're going, even when the road gets bumpy. Look, who's your role model? Who's that successful person that you want to be like? Get an image of that person in your head. Now, whether this person is in business, sports, or another field or industry, I promise you that this achiever had a vision. They didn't just wake up one day and accidentally become successful. They chose to chase something bigger than their current situation. And guess what? That's what you need to do too. Having a vision is the first step. Once you know where you want to go, then you make the plans and you set the goals. I'm talking real, tangible goals, goals that stretch you, challenge you, and push you to be better. Set goals that make you uncomfortable, because those are the ones that are going to change you. But here's the thing, just setting goals isn't enough. Goals require action. They require you to follow through. And this is where standards come in. I mean, what standards do you hold yourself accountable to? I bet you hold others accountable, but you demand excellence from yourself. Or are you satisfied with just good enough? If you want to build a better life, you need to raise your standards, set the bar high, and don't settle for anything less. Hold yourself accountable every single day. Because let me tell you something, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do repeatedly, every single day. Dreams don't work unless you do. It's not enough to dream about a better life. You have to hustle for it. You have to be willing to put in the effort, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you're tired. You have to be willing to show up for yourself day after day after day. Yes, there will be setbacks. Yes, there will be challenges. Yes, you'll feel like quitting at times. But every time you push through, every time you refuse to give up, you get a little bit closer to that vision. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Am I willing to do what it takes to get there? How high am I willing to set my standards? And most importantly, am I willing to commit to the daily grind, the hard work and perseverance until I reach my goals? Your vision is your power. Your goals are your map. Your daily effort is the engine that drives you. If you keep moving forward, the life you dream about will become the life you live. Whether you're a student, a professional, an entrepreneur, or an athlete, there's a process, a recipe to achieve success. It doesn't matter what your background is, it doesn't matter what your chosen field is. This process, if you follow it to a T, will see you achieve your chosen goal. I'm about to reveal the secret, so are you ready? Now the good news is it's only 4 steps, and you can do all of these. There's no special talent required. Anyone can succeed if they follow the recipe. So if you're ready to change your life, let's get started. In my private coaching, I call these the 4 pillars of success. Step number 1, know what you want. Sounds simple, kind of straightforward, right? But it's the foundation of everything that you're going to achieve. Imagine you're heading out on a road trip. You wouldn't just drive aimlessly and hope you end up where you want to go. No, you would have the destination in mind. That's exactly how it works with your goals. You need to define your vision. Get clear on it. What does success look like for you? Picture it. Write it down and let the image drive you forward. Once you know what you want, step number 2, it's time to make the plan. Think of this as your roadmap. Break down your big goal into smaller, manageable steps, and then create a timeline for each of these steps. This doesn't have to be perfect or set in stone. Think of it more as a guide than a rule book. Plans can and they should change, so adapt as you move forward. The key is to have the structure that keeps you on track. All right, so we have the goal, we have a plan written down. Step number 3, it's time to execute the plan. This is where the rubber meets the road. We start working on those steps. Remember, it's okay if things don't go exactly as planned. It's about consistency, not perfection. Progress requires action. It's your daily choices and decisions that will affect your outcome. You're not going to see the changes right away, but believe me, the wheels have been set in motion. The journey to success often requires tweaks along the way. So don't be afraid to pivot if something isn't working. Step number 4. And here's the part that separates the dreamers from the doers. You gotta grind it out. Persistence is your best friend. Success doesn't come overnight. It's the result of consistent effort and unwavering commitment. There's gonna be obstacles, and there's gonna be days when you feel like giving up. But this is where your determination shines. Keep pushing forward, keep the faith, and believe in yourself. Your hard work will pay off. Here's the truth. There's no secret to success. You've heard all of this before. The journey to success requires hard work, commitment, and time. Just follow the 4 steps. Know what you want. Make a plan. Execute the plan, and then grind it out. You have the power to achieve greatness. It's already within you. The real question is, will you do what is required? If you want more, then you have to do more. There's no shortcut. Stop looking for easy and just get working.